Hey everyone, this is High Priestess Tana, and thank you for tuning into Tana Temple Healing Works. I'm back again with some more content, but this time I'm going to do like an astrological breakdown and comparisons of Tupac Shakur and his alleged killer Orlando Anderson. As you know, the Tupac murder trial has been going on. This is like week two, so it's been going on for the past few weeks. And I just wanted to touch base on some things that I noticed from the outside looking in, because there are a lot of things happening with this case, and I just wanted to really take a deep dive of my own and look at some things that I thought was very alarming and also very interesting from an astrological standpoint. I didn't want to get into all of the details from I would say a standpoint that from a legal standpoint that really touch base on all of the different details of the trial and all that. I don't want to really talk about that. I want to take a deep dive from a spiritual standpoint. And again, this is all for entertainment purposes, but I found some very striking similarities between these two men. And it's crazy how similar both Tupac and Baby Lane slash Orlando Anderson look. Like they looked so much alike in a way, but of course, like I said, Tupac was more handsome, but they looked very similar in their lives, and some things in their birth charts were very alarming. So first and foremost, I noticed that Baby Lane, aka Orlando Tiv Anderson, was born on on August 13th, 1974. I don't know why I was about to say October. And it's clear as day is August 13th, 1974, which would have made him a Leo sun. And he also passed away on May 29th, 1998. And that that particular day that he died, the it really stood out to me because if you think about the number 29, and also in astrology, even when it comes to the 29th degree, is also known as the anaretic degree. And it could be a very challenging degree to have, but in this case, we're talking about 29 numerology just itself, right? So, what I was pulling up earlier, and I was thinking about this, when it comes to numerology and the number 29, it deals with the master number 11 energy. So in numerology, the 29 actually reduces to 2 plus 9 equals 11, and 1 plus 1 equals 2. And it carries the vibration of master number 11, which is associated with the stream spiritual illumination, heightened intuition, and a profound bridge between the physical and the unseen worlds. And also, like we know about, it could deal with the moon or lunar influence. Since 29 reduces to 2, it is tied to the energy of the moon, represents sensitivity, transition, and emotional depth. Also, but the biggest thing that really touched me deeply and captured my attention was that when it comes to the number 29, it also represents the closing of a cycle or the symbol of a cycle finishing. So, this could also deal with the finishing of a major soul journey or a final chapter of life lessons. So that's what I was also thinking too, because some people argue, was this karma for Baby Lane slash Orlando Anderson for allegedly, or far as we know, who is the suspected killer of Tupac Shakur, right? So, I thought that was very interesting within itself. So, from my understanding, when I took a deep dive and really looked into the different aspects of each of these young men natal charts, I realized that let's see. Orlando Anderson was a Leo sun, Gemini moon. And Tupac was a Gemini sun, Aries moon. Okay. So if you notice that fire and air type of energy that was present with both the sun and moon signs, like Orlando Anderson had a fire sign as his sun sign, which was rather Leo, and his moon sign was in the air sign, which is Gemini. And then if you look at Tupac, he was born June 16th, 1971, which would have made him a Gemini sun. And it's also known that he was, sorry, I'm talking like he's still here. Well, kind of is spiritually. Um, he was Aries moon. So, and from my understanding, his ascendant or rising sign was allegedly Virgo, because of his presence, like his mentality and his just his overall demeanor gave like a Virgo type of energy. So yeah, so I'm gonna say that. And then it's art, some people argue that Baby Lane slash Orlando Anderson rising sign could have been Scorpio, or rising slash ascendant could have been arguably been Scorpio. I believe that is a possibility. I wouldn't put nothing past them, honestly. Um, but yeah, overall, like I found some very interesting stuff going on here. And I also noticed like how much they favor, like I was saying to myself earlier, like these men look so much alike. Like they could be like first cousins or something. I don't know, but it's, if you look at the features like the eyebrows and everything, the facial structure, it's really eerily simple. They eerily resemble each other rather. And the crazy part was I read that uh Baby Lane slash Orlando Anderson also was aspiring to be a rapper, and he ended up um opening up his own like record company, or whatever, however you will put it, like music company called Success Records, which was short lived. But I also was thinking about the movie Trading Places, right? So I was thinking of some crazy stuff. It's like Orlando Anderson was the real Roland Bishop, and Tupac was portraying the role of Roland Bishop. I'm not saying he wasn't like Bishop at all, like he didn't have any traits like him, but from what I'm getting, Baby Lane slash Orlando Anderson, from my understanding, obviously he was a member of the Southside Compton Crips. He was known for, having bodies, meaning he, in this case, he was a killer, he was a gangster, he was in the drug world, like he did a lot, he was moving weight, all that. He did some things, okay, in those streets. So he was about that life for real, while Tupac was an entertainer. And yes, he wasn't no joke. He wasn't, no weak man or nothing like that. And he stood up for what he believed in, and he spoke his mind. And once his mind was made up, he stuck with what he wanted to do. Okay, he was his own person. But it's crazy because while Tupac was portraying these roles in these movies such as Birdie and Above the Rim, you know, it's crazy because this guy was really living that life for real. Um, yeah, he was about that life for real. So it's interesting. And he admitted that he was a fan of Tupac, which is interesting. I'm looking like, so why, okay, if you were a fan of him, why did you supposedly kill him? Okay, that was, but at first he said he had nothing to do with the shooting, but then it's like he had a smirk on his face while he was being interviewed back in the day, and I'm like, okay. Um, I'm just saying, like, it's some weird shit be going on. But speaking of trading places, right? I was thinking of the movie Trading Places. Because it's almost like their lives were like a switcheroo. Like, Pop was living the, trying to not emulate the life of a gangster, but I guess you would say he was some people would say he was a studio gangster, and some people said that he just wasn't a gangster at all. He was just playing a role. um I guess that was a way, like a defense mechanism or something. But I was like, I don't know, because both his parents were Black Panthers. So I don't think it was an act per se. He may have been gangster in a way, not like, oh, it's all about gangs and, all this other shit, about that gang life and shit like that, 100%. But he was gangster in a way, he was a revolutionary type of gangster, like that. And I think some people misunderstand his personality a lot, okay? But if you think about it, back in the day, Tupac um was in this group called Digital Underground, and they had this song called Same Song. And it was actually in the part of the movie Nothing But Trouble. And if you think about the movie Trading Places, and it's funny because he was saying something about a line about trading places, and I think that song called Violent on Tupacalypse Now. But Dan Aykroyd was in Trading Places, as well as with us Eddie Murphy, which was a comedy. But if you think about Dan Aykroyd, he was also in Nothing But Trouble, which was in 1991. And Pac actually had a small appearance in that movie, Nothing But Trouble, in 1991. So technically, Juice was not his first movie per se. It was his first movie being the main character. I would argue and say that. Um, all right, Nothing But Trouble, same song by Digital Underground. And that's crazy because Shock G, he was the lead rapper on this song, but this also featured Tupac, cuz this when Tupac was featured on the song when he did his first rap, from my understanding. They did have the thumbnail up here earlier with Tupac right here. I kid you not. Now it switched to one with Shot G. So but there go Tupac right there. Here go images of Tupac when he was part of the same song. Because they show him as an African prince when he was rapping his verses in the video. All right, so that was interesting how that tied together. Wait a minute, Shock G, he was a Virgo, August 25th. That's crazy because they said that, oh, his birthday is tomorrow, y'all. He would have been how old? Oh, wow. All right, so he, wow. Okay. So he would have been like oh yeah, cuz he was supposed to he didn't make it to his 58th birthday, and that was what, 5 years ago. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow, that is. I just noticed that because I said, what made me want to look up Shock G again? Again, after just talking about him here. Yep. So that's the thing. It's crazy because when I was looking at Shock G, and this is going into talk about the Gemini Moon situation, right? How that guy Orlando Anderson looked like Tupac in a way. He favored him a lot. But when I was looking at Tupac's grandparents from his father's side, oh my God, y'all, he looked like his grandmother. And that's that other Gemini type of energy too. Yeah, this is his paternal grandmother, Eloise Marie Barnes Garland. Wow, that's who he favored. He favored his grandma too and his father. But you know what's crazy? As I'm looking at Tupac's grandfather, he kind of favors Shock G. Like, look at this. Like, I'm about to pull up Shock G now in Tupac, and you'll be like, wow, it's crazy. And look at Shock G when he was younger. Why is it taking so long to show his picture? That's crazy. Like, the resemblance. Oh my God. Like, he do kind of favor his grandfather. That is crazy. Um, but yeah, Tupac look like his grandmother too. Now, I'm about to show y'all. Oh my God, why is they doing that? I did not want to say that. Um, Tupac and his father, Billy Garland. That's this that I said Gemini Moon. I meant Gemini Sun in this case, but the Gemini Moon thing with Orlando Anderson, that's crazy too because him and Tupac favor. But then again, Tupac got a Gemini son, and his father looks like, well, him and his father look so much alike. Now, this this is crazy. This is Tupac's father. And they look so much alike. That is crazy. Like, this is a younger version of his father. And there goes his mother Finney. Who y'all think he look more like? That's crazy. Yeah, that's his father and that's him. And this is crazy. Oh man, he looked like Pot look like his father right here too. This his father and that, oh man. These pictures, that is crazy. That's definitely where he got his good looks from. I can say that much. For real. It is not no disrespect or nothing like that. I mean, he has a handsome father, obviously. Let's go back. Now, um, what was I about to say, y'all? I got off track. Oh, so I noticed that Tupac has a Gemini stellium. So he has Sun, Mercury, and Venus all in Gemini. And he also has Chiron and Aries. And I wanted to bring that up because I believe that Orlando Anderson has Chiron and Aries too. I believe so. Um, I saw it on here some one way or the other. And that's crazy when I'm thinking of that karmic energy that was around Orlando Anderson. He died on May 29th, 1998 from a pretty much like a gang related shooting. But I saw something about him having Chiron and Aries too. I just saw it on, oh my goodness. I hate when I see stuff and I can't find it afterwards. Oh, yeah, Chiron and Aries. So they got that in common. So let's see. Now, something different I noticed like um okay, so he has Mercury and Leo and Mercury and Cancer and Venus, Virgo and Mars. I believe that Pac had uh what was his Mars? Was it in Aquarius, I want to say? Yeah, Mars and Aquarius. Node in Aquarius. Wait a minute, let me check Baby Lanes. Let's see. What was his node in? North Node. Oh, Sagittarius. Like, yeah. Okay. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I spoke too soon. His true node is in Aquarius. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is there a way you can jump down to this? All right. Oh no no no. I was right. I was right. His north node is in Sagittarius. I'm about to find a better not better, but let's see. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so right here is saying that Baby Lane slash Orlando Anderson's ascendant is in Scorpio. So that is where I knew I found that somewhere. He has arrows in Taurus and Hygeia in Taurus. That's interesting. Yup, his North Node is in Sagittarius. His South, ooh, y'all, his South Node is in Gemini. I figured that because I said, wait a minute, it is in Sagittarius. That means that the opposite, because Sagittarius and Gemini are opposite signs. So check this out. If Pot's North Node is in Aquarius, that means that his South Node is in Leo, because and that's funny because Leo is what's his name is Baby Lane slash Orlando Anderson's sun sign. His sun sign was in Leo, and that's crazy because Gemini was Pac's sun sign. So wow, ain't that some shit? I knew it was something. I said, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Damn. Oh, you know what? I want to check out something too. So I noticed with sometimes with people who have Pluto and Libra, sometimes they can make bad decisions when it comes to doing things that's fair or just. They may have a hard time making sound decisions. Sometimes they may think that something is really right when it's really not the right thing to do. Um, and I'm also noticing, oh, okay, Pac has I'm noticing something else in Pac's chart. I'm gonna talk about it in 1 second. He has Pluto and Virgo. So Pluto and Virgo, when it comes to a personality, they basically they're very they have a hard work ethic, and he did. And I'm thinking about that fixer mentality. I noticed that Pot helped a lot of people too. Sometimes he would put other people's needs and stuff before his own. I think in this lifetime, his health was starting to become very important to him. I noticed that because he started like building his body and stuff, and it seemed like he was trying to treat his body better. Like instead of like, because I think he, from what I remember, he liked hot wings a lot. And I can't remember what else. Was it Cheetos too? I can't remember, hot Cheetos something, but I know he liked hot wings. He loved chicken wings, especially them damn probably like buffalo chicken wings. Um, that ain't what I was looking for. Not exactly. Yeah, cause yeah, and yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, for the generation born spanning from 1956 to 1972, he was born yeah in 1971. Yeah, fixers and refiners and he was for the people too, about like he wanted to fix. He always talked about how the poor wasn't being treated correctly. He talked about race and how a lot of people of color were disenfranchised and treated poorly and didn't have the same advantages or access as other people who may have been, people who are not black or non melanated folks or whatever. Yeah, Healing trauma. He was in the process of healing a lot of trauma. He was starting to build his body up. He could have studied medicine, and nutrition. I'm trying to think some other things too. Transformation through work. Yeah, absolutely. With his music, like he was trying to, the music was, I guess you would say, the catalyst, but that wasn't the end all be all. He was more about people and refining things, like the fixing things that were broken, like that could be political systems, racial discrimination, all that stuff. People who are disenfranchised. Now let's talk about Pluto and Libra. That will be Baby Lane slash Orlando Anderson. Yeah, from 1971 to 1984. Yeah, sometimes. Um, oh no. It's, I'm getting some dark, like the dark sided traits. Power struggles. That's what I was getting. Yeah, it talks about intense power struggles, manipulation, and deep seated fears centered around relationships, codependency, and balance. Pluto brings the raw shadow energies of control, destruction in the underworld. Yeah, compulsive people pleasing, control through compliance, power struggles in romance, jealousy and possessiveness. That's what I was getting to. Because I was like, damn, was he jealous of Pac? Like a lot of people were, but I'm quite sure that was a hidden motive, or not even hidden motive. Addiction to the idea, chasing the fantasy world, love, marriage, or partnership, and aggressively cutting ties, or rewriting reality like dramatic conscious uncoupling when the raw, messy truth of human emotions surface. Yeah, it's some other stuff going on. Right. Yeah, that makes sense about that karmic shit that I was thinking about, a karmic lesson. Um, the karmic lesson of Pluto and Libra is to choose real truth over fake peace in your relationships. Yeah. Stop people pleasing. You might hide your true feelings to keep everyone happy. Pluto forces hidden anger and unfairness into the open. See power struggles. Libra wants total fairness. Pluto exposes where control and manipulation hide behind polite smiles. Embrace independence. Your soul needs to learn self reliance. You must balance your focus on others with strong love by learning from the opposite sign, Aries. Yeah, that's let's do Pluto and Virgo karmic lesson. It's about learning to let go of toxic perfectionism and find peace with imperfection. I believe that Pac was a perfectionist, honestly, when it came to his acting and music, because he will be up hours and hours and hours, sometimes maybe even days at a time, trying to get stuff pumped out, like get his creativity flowing and content pumped out, records flowing and stuff. And yeah, Virgo craves order and fixing details while Pluto demands total transformation. Together, they create a heavy burden of self criticism, guilt, and imposed standards. The karmic task is to stop punishing well, I was going to say oneself, but punishing yourself and others for not being flawless. Moving from anxiety to faith, this placement often holds deep anxiety about small mistakes or failures. Growth happens when you surrender the need to micromanage life. You must develop trust that things can unfold safely without your consent. Your constant oversight. Transforming service and humility. Virgo rules work, duty, and helping others. The shadow side is martyrdom, sacrificing your well-being out of obligation or control. The lesson is to offer genuine service from a place of love rather than guilt or need of validation. Holistic acceptance. As a generational placement, roughly from the time spanning between 1956 through 1972, this energy asks you to balance analytical breakdowns with a big picture, holistic view of healing. True power comes from self forgiveness and quiet, steady self care instead of endless self correction. Okay, well, that makes sense. So it's also saying that the Pluto and Virgo generation is compulsively motivated to improve their physical and mental health. Wow. All right. I'm gonna go back to Pluto. Pluto. I'm trying to say both of them. Pluto and Libra. Positive traits. Cause I forgot to mention those. I kind of jumped ahead of myself. Um, these people possess a deep dedication to transforming relationships, seeking true equality and champion social justice. Focus on fairness, human rights, and systematic balance, working to correct unfairness in partnerships in society. Relationship focus, highly aware of emotional social dynamics, bringing intense dedication, loyalty, and passion to close bonds. Now, when I'm thinking of people who are in gangs, they are very loyal to their gangs, and they could be more compassionate or giving to people in their gang as they consider them like family. They are family to them. Diplomatic and persuasive, skilled at diffusing high conflict situations, using patience and tact rather than force. Transformative insight, gifted at recognizing toxic relationship patterns and letting go of old attachments to grow. Aesthetic and cultural vision, driven to reshape how society views beauty values and gender roles. Um, let's see. Pluto and Libra. No, let's not talk about that no more. I think I spent enough time talk about that. One thing that I noticed in Pot's chart, this is Pot's chart. Um, he had Saturn in Taurus. He had Saturn in Taurus at the 29th degree. Ooh, let's see. That's the anoretic degree. And we're gonna talk about Chiron and Aries too. Chiron, ooh shit. Chiron and Aries meaning. So when a person has Chiron and Aries, it represents a wound around identity, self worth, and a right to exist. It brings deep insecurities about taking up space, asserting desires, or being visible. And both of these men had this in their charts. Healing comes through self acceptance, building quiet confidence, and stepping into authentic, courageous self expression. Now, the core wounds would be identifying doubt, feeling that who you fundamentally are is wrong or unlovable, fear of aggression, struggling with anger, conflict, or standing up for yourself, people pleasing. That popped up. See, Orlando Anderson slash Baby Lane had Pluto in Libra. That's people pleasing, hiding your true needs to keep the the peace or win approval. I believe that was him that had Pluto in Libra. Invisibility, believing you have no right to lead or put yourself first. Gifts and healing now, we're talking about self sovereignty, claiming your personal power without needing permission. Courageous empathy, using your own pain to understand and champion the underdog. Now, Pop did do that. Authentic leadership, guiding others to find their true voice because you found your. Yeah, Pop did that too. uh he did claim his personal power without needing permission now, because like I said, he was his own person. He didn't give a fuck. He said what he said and he meant what the fuck he meant, and he acted accordingly to how he felt and what he was passionate about. Now I want to do this. Saturn and Taurus. Oop, what did I put, y'all? Finding worth that can't be taken. So, Saturn at the 29th degree of Taurus represents the final critical anaretic degree of Taurus, combining the heavy structured lessons of Saturn with a profound karmic crossroads just before moving into Gemini. That is crazy. Material security. So Saturn governs discipline and limits, while Taurus rules money, resources, and self worth. Now, if I recall correctly, when Pop passed away, I believed he was in a lot of debt or something because stuff he thought he owned really was owned by Death Row, and he didn't have the money like he thought he did or something. The core lesson: you face intense tests around scarcity, value, and holding on to your or releasing material wealth. Extremes: people with displacement often swing between hoarding resources out of fear and completely rejecting material comfort. Um, this is also known as the anaretic or karmic degree. Um, when it comes to urgency and mastery, it brings an extreme sense of urgency, finality, and a crash course mastery of Taurus themes. In the crossroads, you are definitely being forced to make a definitive choice about what old security structures you must leave behind before transitioning into the next phase of growth. I believe he may have been spending more money than what he was actually making, from my understanding. So that's something good to look into. Let's see, Tupac money issues. He also had a lot of money issues because he paid a lot of court fees too. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't really like the flashy type though, for real. When later in the later, I would say in the death row years, that's when he started dressing a little bit more fancy and stuff. What he wearing, like Versace shirts and stuff, a little bit, a little bit more over the top compared to how he used to dress before. Yeah, it's some truth to all this. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, and keep your head up. Yeah, they got money for wars but can't feed the poor. Yeah. I was talking about he would talk about this systematic economic inequality. Wow. Um, that's crazy. Tupac's missing millions, and y'all, this from July 25th, 1997. Damn. This is crazy. It says on September 14th, 1996, 7 days after gangster rapper Tupac Amaru Shakur was cut down in a drive-by shooting near the Las Vegas Strip, his mother, Afeni Shakur, 50, went back to the family home. Oh my God. It's gonna cut me off. In Stone Mountain, Georgia, to sort through her son's belongings, including the now infamous 3-page handwritten contract he signed from prison with Death Row Records CEO Marion Suge Knight almost 12 months earlier. Even in her grief, Afeni, a former Black Panther activist, was angry as hell. The contract locked Tupac into a Faustian deal with Knight, who agreed to put up Tupac's bail money in exchange for his signature on a three-album, three and a half million plus contract. Where were all the advances and royalties the contract promised? Moreover, how could her son produce 3 CDs in the last year of his life, sell reportedly more than $60 million worth of records, enough to make him one of the top selling domestic artists, yet still wind up in alleged several $1 million in debt to death row? Singers among all the various species of celebrity seem to have a peculiar affinity for financial calamity. Performers as diverse as Tom Petty, Hammer, TLC, Meatloaf, and Wayne Newton were all set for life, only to later declare bankruptcy. But Tupac's post-mortem financial saga, which has been sprouted a handful of lawsuits, overshadows them all. Because Tupac Shakur died, uh, what's it, intestate, without a will, his mother had to file court papers establishing herself as the administrator of his estate and the sole living heir. While he was alive, Tupac supported Afeni with more than $16,000 a month. Now she is concerned about protecting her son's memory as well as her own future. Again, this was written in 1997, y'all. Soon after Tupac's bizarre and so far unsolved murder, Afeni called a lawyer she trusted, New York trial attorney Richard, was it Fishbine? Yeah, something like that. Fishbine. Years earlier, he had advised her when she represented herself and won acquittal on 156 counts related to blowing up police stations and other public buildings in the 70s. Fishbine Fishbane flew out to Los Angeles. He found that the rapper, who died at 25, had barely anything to show for his chart topping career. No mutual funds, no IRA, no real estate. Tupac didn't even own his Woodland Hills, California home. There was only a five-figure life insurance policy. The beneficiary was his sister, Sechwa. Two cars, and a single checking account that contained less than $105,000. Court fees and taxes would consume that quickly. The situation was so bad that when a young woman named Jacqueline McNeely, paralyzed by a stray bullet during a Tupac concert in Arkansas, sued Tupac and asked for 16.6 million in damages, no one showed up in court to defend the estate. Death Row has contended that it was Tupac's own profligate spending that left him so broke. There may be more than one. Well, I'm sorry. There may be more than an element of truth to this. For example, Tupac spent wallet loads of money on a lifestyle that led him into trouble, and lots more on attorneys to fend it off. Even at his death, he was out on bail, paying a criminal law firm to appeal his 18-month to 4.5 year prison sentence for sexual misconduct against a woman in a New York City hotel room. Furthermore, Death Row Death Row sources have reportedly said that the label advanced large sums of cash to Tupac for everything from recording and video cost to cars and furniture. Damn. That was a lot. That was a mouthful. Okay. Um wow. That was a lot. Okay, that was written by Mark Stewart Gill on July 17th, 1997, and it was released at 4 a.m. Eastern Time. And the headline, or the I guess the header of the, what you call it, subheader actually, is his mother is fighting for a fortune, but the money could still disappear. Wow. All right, y'all. I'm about to go ahead and oh, wait a minute. One more thing I forgot to mention. Tupac's father is also a Leo. Yeah, August 5th, 1949. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, y'all, I'm about to go ahead and end this video. I'm about to end this video because that was a lot. It was a lot to dissect. And he looked just like him. That's crazy. All right. I appreciate y'all for staying with me this long. And I know it was a lot to talk about, but y'all made it through with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. All right. Love y'all. Have a beautiful rest of y'all day. Peace. It's been real as usual. It's been a vibe as usual. Again, my name is High Priestess Tana, and thank you for tuning in to Tana Temple Healing Works. And please leave any not descriptions, comments in the comment section, and I'll definitely make sure I post this as soon as possible. All right, peace.